think the biggest takeaways of anything is, you know, the importance of building community, the importance of community marketing, and understanding how and where to find your community. And, you know, which was mentioned over and over again today, the importance of just before you launch something, or if you're having a hard time gaining traction, is just building those relationships and finding those people who have interest in, you know, what you're doing, and you'll have a greater probability of getting success in your marketing if you already have a group of you know, advocates who can advocate for your products. And so that process of building a community takes time. But if you look at your marketing from the lens of how can I build this group of people who can I can reach out to and keep them engaged, then that could be a great direction for your marketing. The other thing that was a trend and takeaway is the importance of transparency and as it relates to telling your story. And so, you know, a lot of us use social media marketing for our, you know, for some of our marketing tactics. And the idea is that you don't necessarily have to be polished. As long as you're authentic, you're telling your story, and you're telling it from perspective of where you're positioning yourself as a solution to someone's problem. But at the same time, you're being relatable and you're being relevant to make sure that you're speaking to the people where they are. The other thing is know your customer. I think that every panel has touched on the importance of understanding who your customers are, and more importantly, where to find them. And so leveraging data, you know, and you know, Rohan gave some really great examples of how to do that in a grassroots way. You know, sometimes when we're doing our marketing, the challenge that we have is that we're trying to bring people into our space. And so the strategy is actually to go to those places that already have the people and then bring them over. And so that way, when you're doing your marketing, especially if you're doing digital marketing and social media marketing or whatever, you don't have the challenge of trying to, you know, bring people, you know, trying to get people where you are, or the fact that you don't have a lot of people. But the idea is that if you can go where they are and create value and tell your story in that space, you can bring them into your space. And then, you know, obviously the importance of relationships. And I think that the relationship is the thread that links everything together. So the idea of, you know, not having relationships with your customers, having a relationship within your community, having a relationship with your advisors, having those trusted relationships that can be advisors, but just relationships. And so when you're thinking about your marketing strategy from a promotional standpoint, how can you leverage, how can you build, you know, spend more time building relationships? And I think that that's something that as business owners, we get so caught up in doing the work that we don't do that. And then the other thing is just meet your customers where they are. So those are the high level tips, trends that were mentioned through this call, and I hope that they were able to bring some value to you. So thank you so much, and we look forward to doing more of these in the future. Bye-bye.